Hey everybody, this is Calvin Waite. I trade crypto for a living. I'm not a registered or licensed financial advisor, planner, or broker, so nothing on this channel should be taken as a recommendation to buy or sell. I also trade all of these things, so I probably have a vested interest in there. But there's plenty of entertainment value and lots of education, so this will be awesome. For those of you who didn't know, my subscription channel is live. So look at the link in the description over at cryptoinfluencers.com and you can see how I make all of my trades and what I do and what I think about everything. This channel is for more hypothetical and looking at trends, and the other one is for actual trading, so you might be interested in that. Well, good evening everybody. I figured I'd wait to do my video when I had a chance to sit down today. It's been pretty busy. But yeah, pretty cool stuff going on today. First of all, I wanted to congratulate our winner of the random. Actually, the winner is Memetasu. Sorry for butchering that so bad. I apologize, but yeah. So congratulations. The $25 of Ethereum is in your thing. So yeah, I'm giving away $25 a day. I'm kind of getting a little more choosy because anyone who strikes up a conversation or does something to kind of, interact or kind of get the channel hopping, those are the people I really appreciate. So I might try to find people that are doing that. So we've had a couple of comments today. Good question. So you'll have to check out the general chat. But yeah, so anyway, very cool. We're gonna continue giving $25 out to somebody every day. Just make sure if you're interested in it that you put your Ethereum address in the day that I'm doing it, because I'll look back. I can see midnight to midnight whoever's put their hat in the ring. Okay, so just don't forget that you need to also make sure you subscribe to the free channel. So those two things are part of that giveaway. And then the pro channel is here in case you're interested. Yeah, and then Wednesdays we do live streams at 12:30. So you're welcome to join us, ask questions, stuff like that. It'd be pretty cool. All right, let's analyze the crap out of our close today. I waited until the market actually closed, so we have a lot of information. This is the 5-minute chart. You can kind of see how this is where we were back up at 27,300 and 400. And then Midnight Marauders attacked, dropped our price pretty good at 3 o'clock, which is no major markets globally are open during these hours. So they took care of some business during a period of low volume. And then when everyone woke up in the United States, they agreed, pushed it down again. And then Midnight Marauders are back. They pushed price down an hour and a half after close. So same thing, thin markets. But this time they pushed it down and it didn't hold. So we got a nice selling climax, which has pretty much cemented the local bottom for this particular move. And then we've shown a decent amount of strength today. So if I zoom in on the 15-minute chart, the 15-minute chart has been pretty clean. Generally exiting the red zone, we're ready to move. Exiting the green zone, we're dropping. Exiting red zone, anywhere in here would have signaled a move, and then drop, move, drop. And recently we just exited the 15-minute, the red zone, and that happened at 26,253. So the 15-minute has been pretty decent. So I was excited to see us moving up. The first thing we did is pulled out, found support on the 50, and then broke the 100. And then that caused a cross of the 50 and the 100 here. And then our next move was to tag the 200. And I love when we slide down the side of a major average. Because if you hit it and just fall apart and reject, that's not so great. But if you hit it and pull back, this becomes a bull flag. And the next move breaks the average and breaks the bull flag. So it's really a sweet combination. So in this case, we had this bull flag forming here. And look how this played out. Pulled down And then finally, when the bull flag was tired, bears are out of gas, we did a bull move and we did cross the 200 briefly, came back and found the top of our flag as support, and now we're moving above the 200. So we might see a full candle in the next 8.5 minutes above the 200, which means there's likely some strength here. So short term, I know these are small moves, but it's interesting to see some of this playing out. Now if you go to the 1 hour, the 1 hour is trying to exit the red zone. So there are some things happening on all different time frames that say, hey, there could potentially be some more strength in this market. So this was our selling climax down to here, pulled back pretty good, had a perfect reversal doji right here, and we've been up ever since. So now the next question is can we get out of this red zone and can we hold it? So exiting a red zone, usually we want to come up and hit the 100, come back, touch the 50 again, break the 100, touch the 200, come back, find some sort of support, whether it's the 50 or the 100, and then break the 200, and then we'll be off to the races. But this will obviously take many days, or several days. It's only the 1 hour, so I guess it could just take a few days. But there could potentially be a move to the upside, or it could be just resistance, because we have a fair number of wicks down here that were support that we are trading below. So that brings me to the 4 hour. So the 4 hour, the reason this looks a little better is because our most notable lowest support happened here. So there was a tiny bit of a support range right here, and we dropped below it here. So this support became resistance, and it lasted for a full day. And then partway through today, we did pop up above it. So we are no longer threatening the fall off area. And honestly, when you have closes, this could have been this could have been no man's land down here, because when you break a support and you start trading down below it, there's kind of this black hole. If it's on the top, you call it blue sky. This is a black hole. You could just fall endlessly. And when you break something important and it doesn't fall apart, that means this could potentially be a fake out. So there are a couple of things that are happening on shorter time frames that might suggest that we are going to, start changing direction. That could help in the bullish scenario. But if you look at the daily shows a pretty interesting thing. So today's candle, it easily could have been red. It could have easily been red. It also easily could have closed below the 200. This could have been an acceleration. We could have really had a bad day today. And the fact that we pulled down pretty strongly and then reversed course completely, this is a pretty bullish candle. Normally, and you've heard me say this before, normally you look at a big candle like this and you think the 50% mark is here. We need to at least overcome the 50% mark to kind of show strength. But in this case, this would be extremely bearish if this was a tiny candle. If we had a tiny little move to the upside and that was it, then this would be bearish. But because we completely fell as hard as we did and created this huge long wick below us, and then we got a small green candle, it feels a lot stronger as a reversal candle than it does as a continuation candle. So it should be interesting to watch this play. I mean, this is not a perfect reversal candle. So anything can happen, and we kind of need a few days to recover from this drop. So we'll kind of see how it goes. But the overall formation of this is starting to look more and more like a falling wedge. So if we start doing a falling wedge, that means that we're wider, swinging up here, and then we tighten as we fall into the wedge. And then it gets easier to break out. Normally a falling wedge breaks to the upside, and the target is usually the top side of the wedge. So the target would be back up at 30,000 or so if this falling wedge becomes a thing. So we're kind of watching that, but you can see that the 200 week is definitely holding us as for support for now. I'm not necessarily thinking that it'd be the worst thing in the world. We really could fall down and intersect these wicks, and I've been saying that for a while. I just didn't think we would, especially when we were starting to really start to break out up here. And then this candle showed up, so now it's more likely that we could drop down here. But I still think the greater scenario, the higher probability scenario, is that we would hold this 200. We officially have 3 days to close this candle. And if this candle remains support, it's going to get more and more likely that it will hold for the long time. Because we have bigger candles up here, and now smaller candles as we approach the 200. So that means that the bears are much weaker closing in on it, and it could easily turn around. So that's why I was comfortable going long for now, just kind of expecting that we will probably hold this, and there's probably not a ton of downside left. And so I'm ready to put on my seatbelt and get ready for the next leg up, whatever that looks like. But yeah, you can really see this falling wedge on the weekly. You can really see it. Let's see. Yeah, you kind of want to, I mean, I could technically close, draw it a lot closer. The idea is that you want it to make sense on the wicks, or on the closes. Let's see how we're losing momentum on this. I'll zoom in big time, and then I'll change it to a line graph so you can see. Okay, my aim is off. So we want this thing as close to those points as humanly possible. Yeah, all right, so I'll turn back the candles on. It looks kind of strange because these corners are popping out, but this is as tight of a range as we could possibly get for this whole move. The final candle here is not closed, but you can see how it's tightening. This definitely has a lot of feel like a falling wedge, and a falling wedge is bullish. Generally, they'll break to the upside and create a new high at the top of the wedge. So yeah, that's kind of how I'm reading Bitcoin. Bitcoin's looking okay. Now let's look at Ethereum, because Ethereum's doing even better. On the weekly, we have a full doji. We had one last week, and this was the candle that was really getting me interested in heading to the upside, because we kind of have what we need on Ethereum. This could start moving up at any time, so that's looking much better. The daily close today is much closer to a reversal. It's not a doji, but it's very tight. It's a tight range, and we have a really long tail. So this definitely did some good things. The support happened on the 100 that's below us, and there's really no resistance. I mean, the 20 could potentially be, and the 50 is way up here. This line is pretty important, but it's kind of, technically it should be a little bit higher because of these candles here. So it should be around 1824, and our high today was like 1818. So it wasn't quite, it wasn't a full rejection off of these lines. So that just means that it feels stronger than anything. And one other interesting thing that happened is, because we pulled up so high and did such a good job recovering this drop that happened early on yesterday. Look at our candle bodies. We're actually staying in this range. So when you see a candle body that moves out of a range and back in the next candle, it actually makes this resistance. it retains its resistance. Yeah, I'm gonna take this off here. This is not gonna materialize, I don't think. And I am gonna raise this line up just a teeny bit to cover our candle bodies here, right to there. Okay, so this, and that movement, it started here, but because of this close, that's why we have to move it up. So this is our official line, and we broke out and broke back in, but we did not lose the bottom of our structure. Yeah, very, very fascinating. Yeah, this is very interesting. So look, this has been intact ever since this candle here. So this is a loose support. Sure is a lot stronger over here though, because of this candle. But look how many wicks we have. Boom, boom, boom. There's a lot of strength here. So Ethereum looks a little better than Bitcoin, to be honest. And there's a reason. Look at this. Look at the Ethereum Bitcoin chart. Beautiful exit of the 50. And normally you'd come up to the 50, you'd reject off of the 100. You pull back to the 50. We kind of did that immediately. Had a second rejection off the 100. And then support off the 50, so you kind of want to do this thing. And then when you break the 100, the next target you're looking for is the 200, and that's right up here. So we had a little red day today, but yeah, we're definitely ranging. Anytime we're above the 50 and the 100, there is bullish momentum because we'll get a cross between the 50 and the 100 most likely. So Ethereum's starting to show significant pattern markers that Ethereum's going to start outperforming Bitcoin. So as long as Bitcoin starts showing a little bit of strength, and we're kind of seeing the potential, at least the potential's there on the smaller time frames, we might start seeing a couple of moves to the upside. And really, we just need a little spark. We just need a little bit of enthusiasm and excitement back in the crypto market, and then things will get pretty exciting. And by now, Ethereum's fundamentals are just unbelievable. So we just need to light the match and get that fuse lit. Yeah, everything looks pretty good. Everything's getting there. So there was somebody that was telling me that I was nuts because I was downplaying this bearish engulfing candle on the monthly. So this has 6 more days to go. But yeah, often, I don't know. I've looked at a lot of these candles. It really kind of depends on where the most recent support is. So if you look at this bearish engulfing is huge, because when we did this massive bearish engulfing candle, there was nothing to catch us. This was the closest thing we had to catch us. And so we had a couple of major months that really dropped us, and they were very, very significant. But now look at this bearish engulfing candle. So we did outshoot it by a lot, but we had a lot of price action in this area. And plus we'd already emotionally come off of the bottom and established kind of our low for the Bitcoin cycle. So nobody emotionally felt like we were heading back here. And so the idea that we would drop all the way down and just find our next level of support, which is probably here, was getting pretty unlikely. And so this is why this kind of fizzled out really, really quickly. And then there was no other one. And the other thing that I notice a lot of times on these bearish engulfing candles or bullish engulfing, sometimes depending on, if this is a very tight doji and this is a big long candle, depending on the other candles around it, you may sometimes you might already get what you need out of the move before you get your confirmation. So if this candle ends up closing as a bearish engulfing in 6 days, and it's a giant candle, and it almost looks like a mirror of this candle, and then here we have support, it kind of takes a lot of the continuation out of the sales of a bearish engulfing, because it may be bearish engulfing, but it may not create a huge complete drop off, because emotionally I don't think anyone believes that well, at least I guess there are some that believe this, but if you're a student of the traditional 4-year cycle, we've never ever approached a end of a bear market cycle and ever even got close to this again. And so I'm expecting this to hold, even if things get pretty ugly. And so I think emotionally, I think our bottom of our monthlies will probably hit around here. So I mean, this could potentially create another red month, but it's also kind of hard to say. You know, it really is hard to say whether this will materialize into something significant or not. You know, just thinking about any time we've come off of the top, here was a bearish engulfing. It never really materialized. This was a bearish engulfing, but we were still dealing with the bottom, so that one wasn't a perfect example. And then this was a bearish engulfing, but it was the beginning of the bear market. So any bearish engulfings that are up in here, which these are not, but these would definitely have a lot more strength because we were in overbought territory. This I don't feel like is fully in overbought territory because this is our range. So we are likely to, you know, just more find resistance here rather than be fully in blue sky, way overbought, and then any little signal creates a sell-off. Yeah, but so coming off of this, I don't see any bearish engulfings until, nope, that's not one. This one, so it was kind of weak. And then this one, which never materialized because we already had lows established. So yeah, yeah, I'm not fully expecting this bearish engulfing to be this doom and gloom, you know, bringing us back to 20,000, you know, dropping us off the edges of the world. I think that the structures, I think we've had 4 candles that are pretty strong and we needed a bit of a rest, but it's just going to be a foothold for our next move up. That's my opinion. You know, I don't always get everything right, obviously, but what we're trying to do is you know, read the emotions from the market and make a reasonable assumption, try to capture that greater than 50% chance, and then manage risk. So in case we're wrong, we can handle it. And if we do that, we'll be ahead at the end of the day. Okay, that's it for today. Awesome session. We'll see what tomorrow brings us. This could be interesting. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to read. We definitely have strength coming off of this. That doesn't mean we have enough strength to go all the way to the top of this. So we might need to range for a little bit before we try again. But yeah, it's nice that we held the 200 for now, and we'll see if we can continue to do it. All right, guys. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you supporting me. And make sure you say hi on chat, and we'll catch you tomorrow. Thanks for making it to the end of my video. Make sure you keep those trades small. Don't force a trade. Don't get impatient. And if you want to see how all this works, please come over and check me out on the subscription channel at cryptoinfluencers.com. Again, the link is in the description.